You're my darling. Hello Internet, how are you all doing? It's me, Ricardo, here with my first impressions of Darling in the Franxx. Yes, I finally figured out how to pronounce it properly, and yes, it's still a little weird. Though, to be honest, the Japanese are weird. Now, if you're wondering what this is, of course, an anime show. The name itself should have tipped you off. Because only in an anime show would you get something as weirdly named as that. But yes, it's an anime show, and it was created by Cloverworks Studios, and of course, Studio Trigger. For those who might know, that's the studio that created Kill la Kill. Yes, it's that anime where a bunch of strippers kill each other with knives. Or, for those who live in the cities, your average Friday night. Now, to be honest, I wouldn't have originally watched this, mainly because of the fact that it's kind of outside my comfort zone. See, I'm the kind of guy that likes a good story, interesting characters, and an intriguing world. And Darling in the Franxx kind of offered that, but I've been deceived before, and wasn't willing to waste my time with that just yet. But I heard about it through various networks, other people talking about it on their own shows, and through, of course, the variety of memes that have popped up because of it. And it was actually through that I, kind of wanted to watch the show to see what it was about. See, I saw a momentary gift of a young boy and a little demon girl enjoying candy together. And, well, that's what got me interested. Mainly because I thought this was the start to an interesting character development, not because of the other thing. You know what I'm talking about? No, I'm not. But I decided to look all over the internet, see if I can find a way to watch it, and, well, I did, and I watched it. And what did I think about it? Well, let's go over the basics of the show, so you guys know that I actually did sit down and watch it. We start off in a post-apocalyptic world, because how else are you gonna start a story like this? I don't understand, but for some reason, a lot of animes nowadays seem to start off always in a post-apocalyptic world of some kind. I guess they're going back to a time where living through the day actually gave your life some meaning. But most of our scenes do not take place in the post-apocalyptic world. They actually take place in these giant cities on wheels. I guess we figured out what inspired Mortal Engines. Too bad they weren't an anime, they might have made their money back. And that's not the only show that I can reference here, because there are a lot of ideas that have been jam-packed into this are pretty much from other shows. Just to give you a quick list, we have Kill la Kill, Mirakiri, that's Future Diaries for some of those who don't know, Pacific Rim, Gurren Lagann, Children of Men, Ender's Game, and pretty much every anime super school that trains kids to be the heroes of tomorrow. Because I kid you not, that is literally who is defending these giant cities. The last bastions of mankind are protected by children. Because that's who I want protecting me. Some horny teenager who doesn't even know how to cook a Hot Pocket. And how they protect us is with giant robots, which two of them pilot. Like I said, was greatly inspired by this, I suppose. And of course, because, you know, this is an anime, the two kids have to be a girl and a boy. Because I guess we're homophobic for some reason. Because our main characters are a squadron called Squad 13. But no, they're not called Squad 13 because they have 13 characters. Though, surprisingly, yes, they do have a lesbian, but we'll get to that in a moment. There are actually 10 characters, and my god, there are literally 10 different stereotypes. And of course, they come in twos. We have the know-it-alls, we have the softies, we have the obnoxious ones, the senpais, and of course, our protagonist, whose name is literally Hero. There's another one that's called 02, and that's all I'm really going to remember of her name, because their other name we really don't hear about, and so we can't really remember it. So for now, we'll just call her 02. Yes, it's a dumb name. Kind of like how the robots are called. They're called Franxx. Hence the title. But unlike last time with Genlock's Holons, there's a reason they're called Franxx. See, they're named after the scientists that made them. And for some reason, they're made to look like cute anime girls. Now, the some reason that I'm talking about is actually a simple one. It's because he's a pervert. I'm not even joking. They literally bring it up multiple times. The dude is a freak. And when I mean freak, I mean the anime kind of freak. The one we try not to associate with. Anyways, together they fight off the first enemy that we get to see, known as dinosaurs, which are these weird robot organic dinosaur-like things, whose designs are actually pretty interesting. Now I say first enemy because technically this show has a few enemies. The first being dinosaurs, the others not really caring about because of the fact that they're just brought up and then dropped out of nowhere. Yes, we get some pseudo-villains that we really don't need because technically the dinosaurs kind of did it, and then we get this second villain that literally just pops out of the sky. I kid you not. Which should segue me to the plot, which is, holy cow, some schizophrenic shiznaz. Again, I'm not joking, this plot just like bounces all over the place like it's flubber. On crack. We just jump from one situation to another, and plot threads are strung all over the place, none of them really having any good conclusion to it. Even the main plot thread is just sort of cut off so we can get to another. Which isn't even really satisfyingly ended. Because I kid you not, it literally goes from a post-apocalyptic setting to evil corporation, to what is the meaning of my life, to underworld layers, to aliens, man, to baby, to waifus in space! All without missing a beat. And all the while, it tries to have this poignant message of kids, of growing up, about what is the meaning of life, of what is the meaning of this world, about having an effect on the environment, about being good representations of what we are as human beings. And it all just kind of falls flat because the robot has tits. Not gonna lie, kind of like it, but still. And eventually we finally get to the end of our journey and we're supposed to be against the main baddie. And it just sort of ends. Not joking, literally like the last 3 episodes is where this happens. Which we just sort of like piddle out with the whole story. Not gonna lie, kinda anticlimactic. And no, I didn't slip up. They actually have an eco-friendly message in the end of this story that has been about Waifu-Bots killing dinosaurs. It has something to do with the fact that we're like draining the life out of the earth. Which may be why the kids are called parasites. Yeah, I'm not joking. The children are literally called parasites. I don't really understand it just yet. But I think it has something to do with the fact that they're trying to be poignant again. Because a lot of the other names for people are kind of on the nose. I mean, the grown-ups are all called adults. The main head honcho is called Papa. And of course, the overseeing woman who watches over the children is called Nana. Like I said, on the nose. Not on my nose, I'm talking like on Gavin's nose. Anyways, yeah, the show ends and you guys want to know, did I think it was good? Well, I can understand why it was popular. And the reason for why it was popular is really simple. Boobies, bots, and basic emotional manipulation. Cause holy cow, there were like a lot of anime tropes in this. Tropes, cliches, stereotypes. It was like all 3, the Triforce comes together and the power is mine. But anyways, yes, there were a lot of tropes, there were a lot of cliches, and for the most part, there were ones that we've seen before, even that bombastic. Because again, Kill la Kill, Girl and Lagann, both of those shows were pretty much just strap yourselves in, we're gonna have a wild ride. And just like those shows, the characters really didn't fare that better. They were all, well, like I said, stereotypes. It didn't mean they didn't have some form of personality, but they were all personalities that we could see coming. There was nothing really new about them. There was nothing really interesting about them. They were just there. But at least they fared better than the plot, because holy cow, I wasn't joking when I said it was pretty much schizophrenic. It just goes all over the place. And again, it's not that I couldn't follow it. It's the fact that I had to work to follow it. Because it's less of that whole plot that goes all over the place, that is just like a roller coaster ride where you're just having fun the whole time. It's more the one that just can't decide which station it is going to listen to, so it just spins the dial and you just hear a whole bunch of noise. And the story, gosh, it was like 8 different animes that were chopped up and sewn together so they can make this Frankenstein of a freak. Because again, I wasn't joking. It goes from this post-apocalyptic theme to evil corporations trying to rule the world, to the kids trying to question who they are and where they fit in this life, to there are underworlds that were here long before mankind was, to aliens literally just popping in out of nowhere, to, oh, now we gotta live together and raising a family, to literally, let's go to space. It's draining in the fact that I had to watch all that. And on top of it, like I said, they keep slipping in these like poignant messages, trying to tug on our heartstrings. And yes, for some people who, I won't say are stupid, but they're not the really intelligent. They're like noble, okay? They're like noble. That's a compliment, isn't it? But yeah, those people might be able to fall for that kind of stuff. But for normal people, it's really easy why that emotional moment is not going to really stick. Because it doesn't linger with you. It works because it tugs on your sympathy. But that's about it. But there were some that were darn right good. I know, surprise, surprise. I've been railing on it and all of a sudden I say something nice about it. It's kind of like I'm just giving my first impressions. But in all seriousness, the first third of the show is what I would actually say is a good portion of the show. The other 2 are, well, it's a mixed bag. There are some good things and there are some bad things. The worst being the fact that it doesn't really understand what tone it wants to have. Or if it wants to have this interesting tale that has this really intriguing subconscious message to it about kids growing up. Because I'll say that's what it does amazingly. During I think 4 episodes or so, it just, holy cow, I really didn't expect that from a show like this. Again, try not to spoil, but for those who have seen it, you know what scenes I'm talking about, where the kids just act like kids. We get to see the world through their eyes, where they don't really know much about everything, where they're literally just trusting the people in charge because that's what children do. Which is, again, where that whole poignant wording for everything about the adults and about parasites and about Nana and Papa, it has some sort of substance here. Because that's more or less what they are to these kids. And there are a handful of moments in which you just feel for them because, again, they're living their lives. They're trying to question who I am. What is my purpose in this world? More importantly, what is happening to me in these strange feelings that I'm feeling? These emotions. In other words, puberty. And like I mentioned, there's a token gay girl in there because, you know, this is an anime. Of course they're going to throw in a lesbian. Not going to throw in a gay guy. That would be gross. But it is only brought up briefly. But unlike the other brieflies where they just bring it in and it's clear that they're just trying to, you know, fan service some of their fans, here it's actually done really well. It's dropped in one of those moments, again, where the kids are questioning who they are and what they're feeling. Because, of course, in this society, you can't talk about those dirty feelings. You can't talk about emotions. Those things don't exist. That's not what evolved human beings are like. In other words, it's very similar to the society of Japan. Including the fact that they try to kill off some kids because they don't fit in. And I won't lie, some of the relationships, like the relationship between the two main protagonists, are represented very well and are grown pretty nicely too. What's the main problem is the fact that you have so many interesting ideas, so many good things that are just crowded out by all this, I wouldn't say bad things, just mediocrity. Again, it's good if they just want to have a blast and, you know, go for a ride and enjoy the show, but you can't really have that with a sad moment. It's like one of the top 10 rules of writing a story. You don't switch drastically from comedy to drama. Because drom-coms really don't work that well. That's why they have such a bad reputation to begin with. But like I said, I can understand why this show gained a lot of popularity. Because there are a lot of things that would make it fun to watch. There's also a lot of things that would make it lasting to watch. It's just a shame that it couldn't pick one side. To be honest, I really think this show would have done amazingly well, not just with anime fans, but with the general public, if it had just chose to be this interesting representation of children growing up. Because there is a reason, like shows like Avatar: The Last Airbender, why Full Metal Alchemist are watched by the general public, even though they may say that they really don't like anime. It's because they focus on the characters, they focus on the story, they focus on the message. They don't try to, force in a bunch of bombastic action scenes or some anime cliches because, that's what all the cool kids want these days. They try to focus on substance. And seeing this show flip back and forth between the two, I'm a little torn on it. On one hand, I liked it, and the other hand, I didn't. It's kind of like watching almost any other show. There's some things you like, there's some things you don't. Whether or not that made it a good show, well, I think how much money it's earned so far pretty much sells that. But anyways, guys, what did you think of Darling in the Franxx? Write your comment in the section below. I would really like to hear from you. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you guys can be notified of when I make my next video. And speaking about my next video and this show right here, which one do you think I should do next? They both pretty much have to do with love, violence, and yanderes. We have Elfen Lied and Howl's Moving Castle. Surprisingly, these two are very similar. They both have protagonists that fall in love with stupid reasons. They both have a secret war that's going on in the background that really isn't focused on for some reason. They both have psychopaths. They both have a surprising amount of body counts. And of course they have the most essential thing you need in an anime, nudity. Write your suggestion in the comment section below and I'll see you next time. Till next time, I'm Ricardo, the Cynical Critic. Me, no movie sacred, no video safe, but all deserve a chance. And I'm glad I gave Darling in the Franxx a chance. Because, again, even though there were some things I didn't like, there were some things that I did. And, well, I'm going to hold to those. I'll catch you all next time. Toodles!
For it.